Hello, every Nyan.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What time is it? It's 9, 10, 11.
Okay. Oh, okay. Text is scrolling on its own. Oh no. Hey, pull yourself together. Don't worry, I have an idea. Okay.
Oh boy, it's back in Jap America.
What the fuck? Who brings the defendant to his own trial late? Plus, the quest was so lost minute I didn't even have a chance to talk with my client. He's late for a very important date. My name is Athena Cakes, armed with an analytical psychology whatevers and a full arsenal of stuff. I'm fully incompetent. Do I wish my client would show up already? Trial's about to start. Appears we made it just in time. Where you been? You fuck? Trial's about to start. Are you for real? Okay. You don't need to get so worked up, idiot. His baldness can wait. There's no way he'd wait for me. Besides, why would I want to start off on the wrong foot with him right out of the gate? Anyways, such matters is part of being a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, well, covering for your lateness is not. Still, but a rank amateur, I see. This is that dude. He might not look it, but he's actually a prosecutor. Believe you me. Who'd have thunk it? He and I go way back. That's where a shared specialization. Both disciples of the same person, so to speak. But he's kind of my senior, I guess. But twisted sense of humor or no, I wish he'd stop treating me like a kid. So, her right and justice. His right is abroad and Apollo is helping Trucy. Did I tell you? What? So neither one of them are here? Leaving you to take this on alone? Yep. Ye gods. Call right back, it's not too late. Not too late at all, he would only need to know how to teleport. Very well. He'll settle for justice. Go grab him by the horns and drag him here. Apollo's literally in the middle of a show. May not want to admit it, but I've got what it takes to take on this case. Just leave this to me and go watch from the gallery. I've already been in the game. As your defense derails in spectacular fashion? No, as I win the fuck out of this trial, you shit.
You forgot to say the dono honorific. They are important here in America.
I very specifically did not forget. I'll be okay, I promise. So wipe off that look of your face, you shit. Let's get to it. He's your... He's asleep again. Oi, Bucky, wake up. What do you do that for, Simon? Thoughts. This is the other tragedy. She's your lawyer, such as it were. I'd say she's more green than yellow, however. Lawyer. Sure doesn't look it. It's just like Bob Prince, some something like that. If known how longer than I've known you, you could say we're bound to one another. Okay, well, I guess I better call her Miss Jicky then. Simon, this guy's not only rude, but he's 3 sheets to the wind of his own trial. Not his own trial. I know we just met, but I'm not ready to give him a piece of my mind. Do whatever, I don't give a shit. Miss Chickadee. Don't call me that. How do you do? Simon here's no friend of mine. I'm a 4th generation head chef for Wet Soba. Wet noodle number 4, Bucky Wet. Nice to meet you. Sure. Whatever. He can pull himself together when he wants to. Only trial wasn't starting in a few minutes. Having been accused of a murder that only occurred yesterday, I'm afraid it's taken a toll on the poor boy. And you happened to be there at the theater where it all happened too, right?
Badass.
They said they found a Rakugo storyteller murdered in his own dressing room. Indeedly. The victim, master storyteller Typhoon Tornado, was a long-time patron of Wet Soba. Master Tornado had been looking after Bucky ever since Wet Noodle number 3 passed away. I see. So the victim was kind of like a father to the defendant, huh? Stupid old fart like your father? No way. He was always dishing my soul. How do you speak ill of him? Shit. Running your mouth like that is why they suspected you of this murder in the first place. Pull yourself together. Number 3 must be rolling in his grave. But Simon... Please, none leaves me. It won't listen to me. It looks like he's still in shock from the whole ordeal. Don't worry, Mr. Wet. Everything's gonna be alright. I'm to defend you with everything I've got. In good hands now. You mean... you leave me now? Sure, whatever it is that I'm supposed to believe. Gee whiz, Miss Chickadee. Now come on, you need to shape up, just like those al dente noodles of yours. Yes, my show is the fresh... Mr. Wet! Bucky, you great big pillow. So, how exactly do you know this guy? He used to frequent Wet Soba, and still do in fact, so I've known him since he was a lad. That's why his father and Master Tornado were always so good to me. I didn't know you liked Soba so much, Simon. I wouldn't expect one as such as you, who eats meat slapped between slabs of bread, to understand the delicate taste, the subtle textures imparted by buckwheat flour. Hey, that's just rude. But I digress. All about flavor and subtlety and stuff. If I let Wet Soba end like this, I'll never be able to face number 3 or Master Tornado in the next life. Uh-huh. That's why you came to me. You wanted somebody you could trust. It was never my intention to ask you. I'll show him. Well, I believe it's just about time. What? But we haven't even properly discussed the case yet. What's the matter? You look nervous, Athena. Don't tell me you're chickadeeing out. Just channeling out the excitement of battle, that's all. Off gates! Let's do this. Come on, Mr. Wet. Get up off the floor. We've got a case to win. Yes, Miss Chickadee. I'm gonna do my best. Ugh.
Wet Soba, Wet Soba, Wet Soba, Wet Soba, Wet Soba.
Hello, Chivas Noodles. Sorry, son.
Mr. Moist Noodle.
No can do. Kind of busy at a courthouse. Huh? Yeah, look. Okay.
This guy has some good animation.
He's not going to do himself or this case any favors like this. Maybe we should let him go get some rest somewhere. Let me rest? Maybe if it were a lumber regular flour though. Rude on noodles. Not fresh, why is super? You know that soda rest. It's all about the free freshes. Grind buckwheat seeds fresh, cut it dough fresh, boil noodles red. He's blacked out. Oh boy, I just knew something like this would happen. Simon, what are these 3 freshes of soba he was talking about? First, buckwheat seeds, or groats, are ground to make buckwheat flour. Then dough made with this flour is cut with a large rectangular knife into noodles. And finally, the buckwheat noodles are boiled. Each step is done immediately, one after the other, so that the soba is fresh when eaten. Oh, so that's what he meant. I wouldn't want him to make any soba right now, though, that's for sure. Athena, this is no time for idle chatter. You need to get into the courtroom now. Just remember, as a prosecutor, I'll be unable to lend you a hand, so don't expect any help from my quarter. There you go, treating me like I'm incompetent again.
Stay fresh.
FYI, I wasn't planning on asking you for any help anyway.
I do like instant soba.
Just you wait, Simon, I'll show you. Your smug face. It's right, and Apollo may not be here, but that's alright. I can do this on my own. Like we've already done in the past game. Yay. That's a good picture, Gingy. Nice, thank you. I need to play that game. I'm sure it's excellent. Okay. Hey, you're in session. Fence is ready. Slam. Prosecution is fully prepared, Your Honor. Wait, what the fuck? Why is this guy back? What's this? No prayer this time, Prosecutor Shadmati. That's correct. Old fart. To expedite these proceedings, I complete them beforehand. Okay, good. Thank you for not wasting my time. By the way, what brings you back? I thought you were still in Crayon. Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth himself called me on to handle this case. Besides, I have a debt to repay.
Nehuta really likes soggy noodle.
And though my opponent is yet a callow thing, I have no qualms with sending her down to thingy. You have a score to settle, it's with Apollo, not me. More importantly, I'm not a callow thing. Qualified and capable attorney. And what is that yellow attire if not proof of your immaturity, you small spring chick? Now shut the fuck. Now, Prosecutor Shadmai. She is still only a teenager. Please go easy on her. Great. Now even the judge is giving me the kid treatment. Very well. Shall we begin? Yeah, I suppose we should. Even though I kinda don't feel like it. Fucking move on and... believed to have occurred at around 4 p.m. yesterday, May 12th, at a storyteller's theater called Kurokurote. The victim was a great master of the Tornado School of Rakugo, I don't know, or comedic storytelling. Name was Taifu Tornado. The scene of the murder was the theater's dressing room. It is accessible by the staff entrance hallway and has an inner and outer sliding door. The estimated time of death is between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. The cause of death is suffocation, though how the victim suffocated is yet to be determined. The autopsy found nothing unusual in his lungs or his stomach, and there is no murder weapon. I will now submit the incident report to the court. Why didn't we see blood in the fucking... Am I misremembering that, or didn't the introduction scenery have blood on it? Well, whatever. How can you name Mr. Wet as the culprit when you don't know how the victim was killed, or even with what? While it is true that the weapon and precise methods are as yet unknown, the accused is the only one who had the opportunity to commit the murder. I will explain this assertion in further detail as we
Wasn't it the
continue.
soup?
I don't actually know. I guess this means he has some kind of evidence to present. Now, would the accused care to plead his case? Come to think of it, where is the defendant, Miss Sykes? Sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid Mr. Wet isn't feeling very well and is resting in the infirmary. Surely it is the lack of a clear conscience that impedes him from facing this court. Great. Mr. Wet is the head chef of a soba shop frequented by the victim. On the day of the incident, Mr. Wet went to the theater at the victim's request. Typhoon Tornado was a connoisseur of soba, as you can see in these photographs. He was apparently making soba himself in his dressing room that very day. The soba found at the scene is likely the soba he himself made there. Liking soba is one thing, but making it in a theater dressing room is a bit much, no? Master Tornado truly had a passion for soba, didn't he? For a man like that to be murdered by a soba chef is truly unthinkable. And yet the accused had ample motive, for in the victim's safe he discovered the deed to the accused's shop. Mr. Wet was to inherit Wet Soba when he lost his father recently. However, it's believed the victim stole the shop's deed during the transfer process. The prosecution believes the accused killed the victim in order to get the deed back. Murder over the deed to a shop. That does sound like a plausible motive. So that's what this case is about. I wish someone had filled me in a little better. Could have contributed more than just 1,000 buckets of cold sweat if he had. Defense. From your demeanor, I gather you know very little about the details of this case. Well, you see, you are dishonoring the soul of the victim by appearing in the courtroom unprepared. Okay, yeah. I'm ready to call my witness, Your Honor. And the animation take 3 years. Let's go. Someone who was there when the victim's body was found. Very well, witness, please take the stand. Oh, hey. What's up? Witness, state your name and occupation. Sam Blackwell, prosecutor. What? You didn't tell me you were going to take the stand. Simply wasn't time. What a shame, Prosecutor Blackwell. Had you shared the damning scene you witnessed beforehand with the defense, we could have moved this trial along and saved the victim's soul that much faster.
Where is his bird?
A damning scene? What in the world did Simon see? And what did he say? Ha ha ha. Ugh. Prosecutor Shimati, was it? Before I give my testimony, there's something I'd like to confirm. Sure. This case involves rakugo, or a very traditional form of Japanese comedic storytelling. Do you have enough knowledge of this art form to handle the case competently? Are you implying that I'm not a weeaboo? Not yet. I'm simply trying to ascertain your familiarity with the topic. For now, it's the prosecutor's duty to learn the background of any case he takes on, especially if it's Japanese. I am an incredible weeaboo. How much could you possibly grasp in a single night? These guys are fucking dweebs. And I can't skip this.
There are no greater Japanese nerds than Black Quill and Nahuta.
He's not just any weeaboo. He's a super weeaboo.
Very satisfied. Or do I need to tip my hat as well?
Ah,
Sure. Thanks, bro. Can see why people call you fucking dweeb. I would love to see you perform that story you mentioned if you don't mind. That is your honor's request. Double slammy, holy shit. Your honor, could we get the fuck back to the trial? Oh right, of course. I nearly forgot. Seriously? All the things for you to forget. Now then, back to the case. Prosecutor Blackwell, please tell this court what you witnessed. By the way, Blackwell, you should, like, wash your face. The makeup is really bad. Anyway, I went to the theater yesterday and arrived at
last name again.
approximately 4 p.m. Went straight to Master Tornado's dressing room to say hello. Bucky went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out a while later. Master Tornado's junior disciple, Wendo, apparently then entered the room soon after. That's when Wendo discovered Master Tornado's body. Now wait just a minute there. With testimony like that, you're practically accusing Mr. Wood of the crime. All I can do is state what I saw. I can't help how it appears. But a qualified and capable attorney such as you should be able to dispatch with it, right? Well, yeah, duh. Alright, I guess I'd better start by getting all the info. Yay!
Press everything.
What did you go to the theater for in the first place? I went because I had received an invitation from Master Tornado. Here, see for yourself. It was a special show commemorating his junior disciple Wendo's promotion. It was also an occasion to announce the boy's succession to the stage name of Wendo II. So what exactly does it mean to succeed to a stage name? You really don't know, do you? In performing arts, a name succession is when an artist inherits a predecessor's name. Yeah, I could have guessed that from the name. So there was another Wendo Rakugo artist before, and this disciple succeeded him, huh? And what exactly did your invitation say? It contained a simple letter of salutations and an outline of the show's program. Oh, appears Typhoon Tornado was going to perform Takisoba, or Time Soba. Tokisoba. I can read. He's famous for his masterful pantomime of eating soba, using only his fan as a prop. And Wendo was to perform Soba Se, or a Soba Glutton, a soba-themed show, I see. Seems you know a thing or two about Rakugo yourself, your baldness. The first to perform was the senior disciple, Geiru, followed by Wendo. And lastly, Master Tornado. Oh, I see. So that's why you happened to be at the Storyteller's Theater yesterday. So what happened after you arrived? I went straight to the Master Tornado's dressing room to say hello. How did Master Tornado appear when you said hello to him? I went with the intention of greeting him, but ultimately we didn't actually meet. You didn't see him? Why not? Kira escorted me to the dressing room, but we heard the sound of Rakugo being performed from within. Thinking the master was rehearsing, we decided to wait in the hall until he was done. You heard Rakugo being performed in the dressing room? Yes, not just me, but Kira as well. In other words, he can confirm that the victim was still alive at around 4 p.m. Correct. I couldn't hear him clearly through the doors, but I'm sure it was Master Tornado, and it was definitely not a recording or anything of the sort. Could tell because there was a time sober routine before being performed in there. So that means the victim was killed sometime after that. Please tell us in detail how Mr. Wet appeared at the time. Gare and I were waiting in the hallway for Master Tornado to finish practicing, when Bucky appeared and entered the dressing room with his things. What happened after that? We heard what sounded like Bucky shouting inside the room. About 10 minutes later, Bucky came back out of the dressing room looking rather irate. Irate, I think it is. This is most likely when the murder was committed. The victim was an elderly man. It would have been entirely possible to kill him within the span of 10 minutes. Alrighty. What do you mean by apparently? Didn't you see him going in? No, I couldn't. I wasn't able to see the dressing room door from where I was standing at the time. But Gare was right in front of it, so I'm sure he saw it all. She saw it all. Oh, that's okay. I see. And why do you suppose Wendo went to the dressing room anyway? He had just finished his routine, so he was making a courtesy call. The disciple is to pay their master respect right before and after each performance. And all disciples are expected to do this? Yes, it's common courtesy among Rakugo artists. I see. Could you tell us what happened after Wendo went inside the dressing room? Certainly. And how did Wendo act at the time? After Wendo had been in the dressing room for 2 or 3 minutes, we heard a scream from inside the room, and Wendo came flying out. Did you hear any signs of struggle at the time? No, just Wendo's woeful scream. I see. Well done. Your testimony has given us quite a glimpse into the sequence of events. Thanks. Now, please allow me to summarize. For some reason. While Prosecutor Blackwell and Garu were in the hallway waiting for Master Tornado, the accused came along and entered the dressing room with some items in tow. He was heard shouting for a time inside the dressing room, and about 10 minutes later he came back out of the room seeming rather angry. A short time after the accused had come and gone, Wendo Tornado went into the room. A few minutes later, after having discovered the victim's body, Wendo gave a scream and came running out into the hallway from within. Prosecutor Blackwell and Garu then ran into the room and saw the body for themselves. From the circumstances, it is quite clear that the accused murdered the victim. Do you guys ever have that thing where it itches inside your ears? It's really weird and annoying. Anyway, this is crucial testimony indeed. Actually, I'll be right back. Hold on.
You must have an earwig. You were gonna die.
Always knew too much anime might be the end of you.
Okay, I'm back. An eyewitness has given conclusive testimony.
You need
Why not
cure.
let it all go now and allow the victim his last rites? Not on your life. Wendo went into the dressing too and was the first to discover the body. Who's to say he didn't commit the crime? Wendo was in the dressing room for a mere 2, perhaps 3 minutes. He could not have possibly committed the murder in that time, nor without making any noise. Prosecutor Blackwell, can't you give me something a little better to work with here? Isn't it up to you to ask the right questions? I'm certainly willing to tell you all that I know. So if you truly are as capable as you claim, then draw out what you need yourself. No time for your twisted games. Just admit you don't remember it all that well. Watching you collude with the defense like this, I see that you're no prosecutor. Be gone, witness. Alright. Ciao. Don't worry, dude. I got this. Would I have my way, he would not be the only one to step down. You think. What? What's the problem? No, what's the problem? No, what's the problem though? What's the problem though? It's all fine, isn't it?
Bird. Scream.
Alright.
Angry.
Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony was like the lowly opening act of a Rakugo show. He may hold the title of prosecutor, but this time he stood on the side of the defense. To restore balance to this trial, I would like to present an actual witness for the prosecution. And who is this witness? The person who was with Prosecutor Blackwell when the body was discovered. She's another entertainer of the Tonedo School. Miss Gero Tonedo. Please state your name and occupation.
What if Simon did it?
Hello everyone. Here to represent
Clowns
the Tonedo School
approaching.
of the Twisty
Too
Twisty
much
Twist.
makeup.
And balloon, there you have it, a stunning balloon hat. It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love, Gero Tonedo. If this is what Blackwell watches, dear Lord, just call me Gero, sweetie. 1, 2.
Gay tornado.
All right. What a way to capture your audience's attention. I guess say I can't take my eyes off those balloons. Please tell me you're talking about the hat, Your Honor. Oh, Mr. Judgy, I'm so glad you liked my
Oh no, I'm
performance.
erect.
Would you consider joining my fan club? Pretty please. Oh, absolutely. And please save your fanboying for after the trial. Anyway, Gero, I can't help but notice you seem awfully cheerful for having just lost your master. Of course I'm sad, but she
this one
sure
gonna
would
have a
scold me
twin
if I
as
didn't
well?
put on a big smile. Never show sadness, smile, smile, smile with a twisty, twisty twist. And balloon, there you have it. One gorgeous cake. Okay. The balloon art's worse than a Rorschach test. All I saw was a severed monster hat. Nice. Gary, you're obviously a balloon artist. So how did you come to be a member of a Rokugo school? Well, my father, my late father that is, was a Rokugo artist, you see. So I joined the tornado school to be just like my daddy someday. Okay. My father and I owe so much to Shisho, our master, but that Bucky wet. How could he? I want to see him pay for what he's done as quickly as possible. Sure, whatever. And not only that, but he... You have more to say about Mr. Wet? Every time he comes to deliver soba to us, he yells at me. He always tells me to get away. Is there any reason why he would say such a thing to you? Says the smell of my perfume will get into his soba and ruin it. Like, how can he say that? This is a great scent. I'm very rude of him. I don't blame you for being upset. Excuse me, Your Honor, but please don't let Gary's balloons bias your judgment. Mr. Red hasn't been proven guilty yet, remember? We'll be interested to see how long that 5 years will last. Now then, Garu, please share the truth with us, court. Yes, please the truth and don't lie like all of the fucking witnesses and shit. Anyway. From 4 p.m. to a little after 4:20, when Shisho's body was found, Salmon and I were standing in the hallway in front of the dressing room. Before Wendo discovered the body, the only person who had gone in there was Bucky. Come to think of it, a little while before Bucky showed up, Jugemu was barking like mad. Blackwell, do you have any objections to this testimony? Dots. No. Make up your bloody minds, sad monk. First you exercise me, now this.
One day there'll be a case where the twist is that a witness didn't lie.
You need only do as you're instructed by his humble servant. As there are no objections, let's fucking move on. Hey, I'm the defense attorney here. I just might have an objection or two once I actually cross-examine. So what are you asking Prosecutor Blackwell for? I'm the one you should be checking with. There's a passage in the... Fucking skip it! I hope you can make Prosecutor Shimada see you as a worthy adversary. Alrighty, let's get on with it. Hey, hold on for a sec. So this is right so far. And we don't know about this, so press. Jugemu. That's my doggy. I keep him at the theater. Let's see. With a twisty, twisty, twist. And balloon. There you have it. My cute little Jugemu. He's kind of creepy looking. Oh, but he's a really, really good boy. And why was Jugemu barking? You think it's because he saw someone suspicious? So then we'd have a new suspect in this case. Now why was he barking again? Oh, I remember, because it was time for me to feed him. So I went into his yard and gave him some food. Couldn't somebody have slipped into the dressing room while you were doing that? Nope, the door out into the yard was wide open. Would have seen if anybody went into the dressing room. prosecutor, fucking stand, please. What's up? So what Gary was talking about, right? So why didn't you mention it before? Don't be expected to remember every minute detail. Well, remember them now, please. Gary got out into the yard. Yes, I remember now that she went to feed the 2 gamblers. And I saw her looking towards the dressing room quite frequently as well. Well, that's suspicious. You recall anything else? It looked as though she were feeding the dog a great quantity of dumplings or something. The gamer couldn't finish them all, so he buried the rest in the corner of the yard. That's about all I can remember. Cave. Looks like Gary was telling the truth. Your Honor, I'd like Gary's last statement to add to the. Yup, the door was wide open. Could you now? Yeah, that's not possible. Nope. So, you were able to keep an eye on the dressing room while you were out in the yard. Is that correct? That's right. The door out into the yard was wide open. Sorry, but that makes zero sense. Take a look at this diagram of the backstage area. There's a clear contradiction between this diagram and the thing you said. I don't get it. This? Or this? I mean, it's more like a line of sight thing, you know? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to point out here. Because there's multiple things that will make sense. But I'm pretty sure the game is only going to allow one of them.
Just point the door, I guess.
Okay.
Take that!
Since it opens to block the yard.
Okay, I guess. Kira was in the yard near the doghouse. Prosecutor Blackwell even saw her there. And while she was out there, the door to the yard had been left open. I get it. The door to the yard was wide open, as Gary said. It would have blocked her view, making it impossible for her to see the dressing room. What? No way! But even if there were, admittedly a few moments Gary was not keeping watch. How much would that really affect this case? Would greatly affect the case. From the spot Prosecutor Blackwell stood, he couldn't see the dressing room door either. Anyone could have entered the dressing room during that time without being seen. Double slammy. Gary, why did you try to hide the fact that you weren't watching the dressing room? What?
Objection!
Hide the fact? Speak as though you think she had something to do with the murder. Rather than deliberate deception, it was more likely a simple oversight, right? Yes, it was definitely an oversight that I specifically mentioned I could see it all the time.
Slamming.
I was so shocked by what happened, I was just confused, that's all. Even though she is trying to keep up a brave front as an entertainer, the truth is that she is being torn apart by grief. For a mind to be in turmoil is hardly unexpected. Yeah, sure, whatever. Skip the weep shit. Golly, doesn't get us saying this.
How can you question these poor people?
What? Something going
Game
on.
over.
She's clearly just an innocent balloon
I
artist.
was sleeping for a moment. Oh wait, this is still happening. Alright, I'll go back to sleep then. What? Oh, something important is happening. Okay, hold on. The victim's gnawing message, which clearly implicates the accused. Look at these Japanese playing cards, known as karuta, lined up on the table. These special English version karuta cards spell out a message. That message, wet number 4. Wet number 4? You mean wet noodle number 4? Yes, as the fourth head chef of Wet Soba is also known, this message points to none other than the accused. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Wow, great job. What do? You bluff. What else? Should I go back to sleep again? Seems so.
I miss Gaspin.
What? You miss what? What is going on? Oh, Blackquill is here. He's trying to use your keen sense of hearing against you. Okay. What a cheap trick. Yo, what's up, Simon? You fop doodles in the gallery. Con a man, watch a trial in peace. This inexperienced amateur is about to turn the trial around.
The lad is here.
Who in his courtroom is starting to change? What are you doing? You grew bored of watching from the gallery. Besides, if I were to leave this trial to this spring chick, lose my favorite soba shop in the process, I'll be quite cross. Voluntarily stand on the side of impurity and said, truly what a fool you are. Are we still gonna do this? Whatever happened to qualified and capable, Athena? Just let my guard down for a little bit. It won't happen again. Gird up your loins and steel yourself for battle. I'm not girding up anything in this skirt. But I am ready to get serious. Isn't she wearing pants? It seems there is now yet another soul I must cast on into hell. I was in prison for a long time, and hell sounds no worse than cell, to be honest. Ah, we're back to this.
Steal your loins.
I'm gonna fucking sleep. Are we done? Oh hey, the first to discover the body and someone who witnessed the crime scene firsthand. Finally we're getting to this. Mr. Endo Tornado. Time has come for the ponytailed pair over there to finally let it all go and move on. Very well, let's fucking move on and actually get to something that won't make me want to fucking jump out of a window. What a dweeb. And the Rokugan storyteller Window Tornado. Even if my performance isn't worth watching, I will certainly watch my words. I wouldn't want to say anything thoughtless and get arrested. After all, that'd be a Roku no. Thanks. Bye.
Uno Tondo.
Don't leave yet. You've only just introduced yourself. Oh my. Are you a fan of mine, miss? Would you like my autograph? One moment. How? What do you think you're doing? No need to stand on ceremony. My fan deserves a fan after all. Fan for a fan, nice one, Why, for this Simon, how are you on this fine day, sir? Quite a dilly of a pickle you found yourself in, wouldn't you say? I don't believe I've ever seen you talk quite so much, Window. Never full phone in a place like this, you know. We got butterflies here, can't you see? Why do I always get the weird ones?
These cases are too Japanese for my tastes.
To change my mind, I do want to still kill myself. As much as I enjoy your banter, I believe we had better return to the case at hand. I never dreamed something like that would happen, not in a million years. Just as I got my chance to start repaying my debt to Shisho too. Yeah, plus, murder by Geru. The way she clung to Shisho, poor thing. Learned to keep a stiff upper lip. Stiff like rigor mortis. I wouldn't mind getting yelled at, you know, if it meant seeing him again. Let's hear your testimony now. I noticed Shisho's dying message right away. The stiff cards were right there next to the stiff, you see. Anyway, I got the meaning right away. I knew it must have been talking about Bucky. That was the master's final message, left as he was drowning in soba broth. It was so like Shisho not to write Bucky's name outright. Plain and simple wasn't his style. I will kind of think that when you're being choked, you kind of don't have time. Whatever. Well, that was certainly a less interesting and entertaining testimony than usual. The variety of characters performed by the witness was absolutely awful. Murder weapon hasn't been determined yet, so how can you say that the victim was drowned in soba broth? It's obvious. All you have to do is look at the crime scene. Found that his face shoved in a bowl. It's only natural to assume he was drowned in the broth for the noodles. Except we're not here to assume things, so please stick to the facts. Setting aside the murder weapon for now, a dying message certainly seems very irrefutable evidence. Indeed. Can't believe it's been an hour already. Bucky used Soba for the deed, all to give back to Shoba's That's as conclusive evidence. What a farce. What do you mean? What's this? I thought you said you weren't planning on asking me for help. I did and I won't, thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, if he drowned in silver broth, he would have found stuff in his lungs.
Gotcha.
Slamo. There's a contradiction. And would you care to explain where? Certainly. According to the autopsy report, nothing unusual was found in the victim's lungs. Ah, sure, it does say that, doesn't it? If he had drowned in a bowl of soba, then there should have been soba broth in his lungs. But since there wasn't any, it means the victim was suffocated with something other than soba broth. What? This is the contradiction you noticed, isn't it? Heh! The bane. Guess I showed you, fucker. But if drowning in the soba broth wasn't a cause of death, then when was the victim's face thrust into that bowl? It has to be after the murder, right?
Nothing personnel, witness.
Because no soba broth was discovered in the victim's lungs, his head must have been placed in the bowl after he was killed. That's when the soba broth must have been spilled onto the cards. In other words, the victims could not have lined the cards up as he was drowning. It was done after he was already dead. But why would the culprit do such a thing? I'm afraid I don't know yet. This animation takes too long. Hold on. Desecrating the body in that manner indicates a strong sense of enmity on the part of the perpetrator. Perp is probably an Inaba. It certainly paints a clear picture of the culprit's intense feelings towards the victim. Feelings of resentment over the theft of the soba shop steed. That's great.
Silence.
Must he come undone at every juncture? If the culprit had time
Case
enough to set up
closed.
Master Tornado's body, you think they would have honestly failed to notice the dying message? Good point. The cards were right in front of his body, after all. Rationally speaking, there's no way the culprit could have missed it, huh?
Shopper sob, net woodle.
Yes. Ah, but was the accused rational at a time, given the way he stormed out of that room?
Silence.
Never mind that. I have something more important to ask. You saw the Karuta cards firsthand, did you not? Would you care to tell us about them in a bit more detail? Those tiny crime scene photos show us precious little of what we have wished to know. Each card is related in some way to Suba. Spare the history lesson, just tell me how the cards looked at the scene, you fuck. Well, there was Suba broth spilled all over them. That's not much help, I'm afraid. Prosecutor Shitmati, do you have a photo that shows the cards more clearly? I do. Okay. What delightful looking cards! Oh my god! Tearing prosecutors' sad monk's conclusive evidence apart should be a breeze with this. Don't tell me you haven't noticed. Don't be silly, I sure have.
Look at that card with Amaterasu.
What the fuck did the TTS just say to me?
Amaterasu.
What the fuck did the TTS...
Amaterasu.
Oh, there we go. Now I can understand.
Amateur Sue.
Alright. These cards were rearranged. These cards were rearranged. How can you tell? The fucking splotches. Where exactly should we be looking? Super brush stains. Yep, none of these stains don't match up with the larger stain on the table. Did you look at that? You're absolutely right. And please recall the silver broth was spilled and got onto the card's author, the Muida, when the victim's face was placed in the bowl. Sure. By the stains, we can see that the culprit deliberately rearranged the cards after that. In other words, this message was altered in order to pin the crime on my client. What? And if we put the cards back in their original positions, and restore the evidence and see who the cards were really pointing toward. That's true. And what are we waiting for? Let's do this. Yay. Oh my god.
Time for a puzzle.
This is so difficult.
Thames.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. This is the most difficult thing ever in this fucking game.
This reminds me of a case.
That's right, it reminds me of how much I want to be playing something else. Oh, the message went now before it was originally supposed to say open forth. And this original message is a clue to the identity. What? It's absurd. Well, I never would have imagined that there was more to these cards than meets the eye. So now that's settled, what does this 0 and 4th mean? Wait, am I? What else do you suppose is to provide an explanation? Of course it's you. But I haven't thought that far yet. Change your cards around all you'd like, but you cannot explain. But if you cannot explain what the message means, I was as worthless as you are. Well, no, does the phrase 0 and 4th mean anything to you? No, there is no one named Owen in the Tornado family or our circle of friends. Go ahead, ask anybody you like. Don't be serious.
Silence.
I'm afraid I have no idea who the devil this 0 and 4th is either. But the fact remains that the cards were rearranged to pin the blame on Mr. Wet. That itself proves that the defendant isn't the real culprit. Right, besides the important question here is not who does the message point to, but rather who rearranged the cards. In any case, there were two opportunities for someone to rearrange the cards. The first was when Mr. Wet entered the dressing room, and the second was when Wendo discovered the body. Are you accusing me of rearranging the cards? Me! You came to testify to the goodness of my heart? Well, you didn't exactly come running out of screaming straight away, did you? Even a mere 2 or 3 minutes is more than enough time to get up to some devilry. So what exactly were you doing in there, Wendo? Put down the tea and spit out your answer. Spit it out. Fancy devious chair waiting for you to make it slip of the tongue. Oh, I see. That's what they're after, is it? In that case, Your Honor, I've decided not to say another word. Very good. After all, your right to remain silent is protected by law. Any other brilliant ideas? Did you hear that, Sykes? The Rakugo artist who's afraid to speak. Who's ever heard of such a thing? I'm trying to taunt him into talking. Such a petty trick will never work. That's right, I'm not going to fall for it. I'm only asking to hear your story. Besides, it's not your job to tell your tales if there is an audience to listen. Even so, I have the right to refuse to answer. The more you keep quiet, the more we want you to talk.
It's
human nature.
Athena don't know.
Isn't that right, people of the gallery? Why isn't Blackwell a fucking defense attorney? Anyway. Even with this wonderful audience in front of you, you still refuse to talk? If so, then perhaps you chose the wrong line of work, my friend. Are you saying I should quit? I'm not afraid to speak my mind, I'll have you know. Never mind what I said. It is scary to talk, it's absolutely terrifying. No, as a Rakugo artist, I must talk! How can I ever show my face on stage again? Your Honor, I'm ready to testify. Bully for you, Endo, and that's a real Rakugo artist trip. Bully for you, Endo? That's as a real Rakugo artist trip? What? Alright, if the witness wishes to testify, then fucking do it. I don't think you can do sentences and stuff. As in expressions. Wait, bully is an adjective for very good and excellent? What the fuck? Oh my god, English. That is... That's so fucking dumb. Alright, well, I learned something new.
Bully of it.
After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. Called him from outside the room, but he didn't reply.
Seems that bully for you is used to express admiration or approval.
Right. Let me see. Yeah, I need to, like, I'm not sure if the Oxford Dictionary API gives me access to searching for, sayings and stuff. But if it does, I'll have to see if I can incorporate that. Anyway, when I entered the dressing room, I saw Shisho slumped over the table, motionless. Why didn't you check on him immediately? It doesn't take him fucking minutes. From what I can tell, there do not appear to be any inconsistencies. Of course there aren't any. I'm not trying to hide anything. But I did pick up on some faint discord in Windows Heart. Under all, you would like defense, but it is pointless. Your Honor, I believe there is no need for further deliberation. Shut the fuck up. Clear indication that the unit is facing some sort of inner turmoil. You're saying what I think you're saying? Yep. Therapy. Well, no, there is no need for you to submit to this so-called therapy. It's fine by me. I have nothing to hide. Bring it on. Impetuous fool. The witness wishes to proceed. I see no problem. In one ear and out the other. Seems this performer has no need for our so-called guidance. For your so-called guidance. Know this way, know your folly will surely earn you divine retribution. This is another thing that I so dislike about so many of these cases in Ace Attorney, is that when it's so abundantly clear that the prosecution is trying to manipulate witnesses into hiding evidence and testimony. Like, how would that fly anywhere? Ever? It's just, like, what? Thanks, I'm gonna make the most of it. Could you tell us again? Let's go. I guess he should be, like, surprised? Instead of afraid, but I don't know. Okay. Noticing something strange. Something stranger with cheesy toast skin, you see? No. How could you have heard some...
You're good at this.
Whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's me who got some cheese in my ears. He will the floor to open up and swallow his cushions out of shame for that bad joke. The point I'm trying to make is that I noticed something unexpected in your emotions. Now stop hiding and come out where I can see you. Birds are flying around. You go, boy. Fly around a bit. And he's done already. Back into the home. Alright. Bailiff, please bring the witness a few replacement cushions. So, what was this unexpected thing you noticed? Come on! Someone said a few cushions, not a few dozen. Now that we've all had a good laugh, please continue. Who's laughing? When you entered the room and saw your master slumped motionless over the table, you weren't the least bit shocked. Don't you think that's a little bit odd? Is it, though? Lack of surprise means you were prepared for what you saw. And I think I know why. The reason Wendell wasn't shaken when he saw his master's dead body is because he was totally zoned out, brah. He was blazed, man. Yeah. Wendell, I think maybe the reason you weren't shaken was because you already knew you would find your master dead.
It did happen at 4:20 o'clock.
Oh yeah, that's true. What kind of thing is that to say? Got it all wrong. Oh right, I just remembered something. I thought Shisho was just sleeping when I first saw him. Hee. You thought he was sleeping? Sounds plausible, but then why would you be scared? What made you think he was asleep? Well, he had his head and arms up on the table as if he were taking a nap. Oh, and one other thing. There was that note, too. A note? What note? You must be talking about this. It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it.
I don't think it's scaredness but sadness.
I don't know. That's the note I saw. After reading that, who wouldn't think Shisho was napping? That is a pretty reasonable assumption. And why would he be sad? Either way, the question is the same. Gotta be kidding me. That's right. Saw his note, so that's why I thought Shisho was asleep. I want to change my testimony to include that statement. Sure, whatever. Why no, I noticed something funny. Funny, you say? I haven't made any funny jokes, ever. Didn't mean that kind of funny. Quite the opposite, actually. When he entered the dressing room, I see that she suddenly felt anger. What I want to know is, what made you feel angry all of a sudden? What? Let's see. Oh yeah, now I remember. As I was going in, I whacked my little piggy on something. I was annoyed at my own clumsiness. Wait, you mean you stubbed your pinky toe? Just a little bump on my little piggy. No big deal. It's embarrassing, really. Sounds more like he's hiding something. I better dig a bit deeper. No need to be embarrassed, I know, but I'm afraid it's something we need to look into. I don't really see anything you could have stubbed your toe on in the area around the dressing room door in this picture. Maybe there was something there at the time? Well, what exactly did you stub your toe on? What an irrelevant question. You dishonored. Well, the thing is... even the most subtle of fluctuations in a person's psyche can clue us in on the truth. That's why it's important to get to the bottom of this question. Well, there's something here. That's not at all what I pointed on. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, I guess it is kind of what I pointed on. Well, it does appear that something hit the table and moved it. When I said he stubbed his toe as he was entering the dressing room. Yeah, and that table looks pretty far from the door. Careless answers will only hurt us here, so think carefully before you speak again. Right. What? Oh, so that wasn't the right thing? What the fuck? I guess this, like, slides is like a path here to the TV or something? Why is there flour all over the place anyway? Take a good look. Check a look. You see it? This long track that goes from the door all the way across the room? Now you mention it, I do see traces of something. Drag mark ends at the TV. This implies that the TV was originally by the door. I'm convinced that this TV is the object the witness stubbed his toe on. Well, I know how about it. Yes, you're right. It was the TV. Stuck my pinky toe on a TV, but what of it? Why is it so important to you? I know, why was the TV moved there? Shisho must have moved it so he could watch my routine. What a place to put it, right in the middle of the doorway like that. Didn't want to bump into it again, so I put it back where it belonged. Performances on stage can be viewed in the dressing room using that TV. That's right, it's a closed-circuit monitor that shows the stage. I see. Now what? Can't find anything else out of place. I still haven't gotten the noise level down to 0 yet. Simon, I'm still getting noisier, but I don't see anything else fishy. It's precisely why amateurs are such a bother. Sorry. No mood to play nursemaid here, but if that's what it takes to save the soba shop. Hoi, Wendo. Here's a curiosity for you. Thanks, game. You just landed on the table near me for some reason. I don't know why. And he flew away. Angry. I wish they would come down to the table more often, but they're like scaredy cats, so I don't know what happened there. Really unusual. Anyway, birds are more interesting than this game. The stable monster tornado is slumped over, looks like it was moved. Did you happen
Game
to bump into
completely
it while you were
ignored what you
moving the
pointed
TV
out
back?
earlier and now pointed it out itself.
Yeah, that's why this
I'm
game
glad
is so
your
great.
birds are at least trying to fly a bit.
Yeah, they're chilling on the roof now. I don't know what they're doing there, but I guess they're enjoying it. Oh my, yes, you're right. TV hit the table and Shisho's body moved with a jolt. That's when I first realized that Shisho was dead. Oh, but how scared I was. I see. Thank you.
Birds know the culprit.
We're finally getting a more precise picture of how the body was discovered. But I'd wager you need to put the spurs to Endo just a little trifle longer. Alright. Wait, now what you just said now about discovering the thing, could you please describe all of that again for the court in detail? Alright. Before you do, let me just plug in the latest information. I were still surprised at that point, I guess, is the only thing. Yeah, surprise is like really strong here. That's odd. After the initial shock of finding the victim dead, you reacted with surprise again. What was it that surprised you, Endo, besides your monster's death? What do you mean?
What a strange little man.
It's more you were even more surprised the second time than the first. What could have surprised you more than finding your late master? Search me, your little thing, you must have made a mistake.
Silence!
Girl is as sharp as a trout, to be sure. But her ability to hear people's emotions is absolute. Now get to remembering, Wendo. What was it that surprised you? That was a compliment, right? Well, No, you pushed him too hard and now he's mentally all over the place. Emotions are completely out of control. Out of control. Care to explain how that's relevant? You know how normally I listen for the hidden emotions in the witness voice, right? And there I look for inconsistencies between their testimony and those emotions, but sometimes a person's feelings can run too high, making it hard to get proper readings. So that's how your matrix program works. Fascinating. Ordinarily, it's just one emotion that runs out of control, but it seems there's nothing ordinary about this time.
Shit's broken.
I knew it. and knickers all in a bunch now. Window has multiple emotions running out of control at the same time. Never seen anything like this, ever. How does one bring a situation like this back under control? I have to find the root cause of this tangled mess before I can treat him. If I can identify what is causing this emotional rampage, then I can touch probe to dive in further. I'll need to point out to what I think is the root cause and touch probe again. Through this process, I can identify exactly what's causing Windows so much distress. Now I'll help you bring his emotions back under control. In that case, let's get started. Alright. I can't guarantee success, but it's definitely worth a shot. I already know what the fuck to do here.
Well, the cards have been important thus far, so the last one.
I guess. Yeah. I get it now. The cards were the root of it all. I mean, we've known that since forever, but alright game, thanks for catching up. I tried to deny it, you can't hide it from me. The dying message that was left at the scene of the crime is what was causing your distress. I was just confused about how this was supposed to work, like the probing pin stuff. And if the dying message was the cause of all those feelings, that means the phrase "oh and forth" must mean something to you. There! My message consists of two words, Owen and forth, but neither of these two words have anything to do with the witness.
Ik zei je, zo? Nou ja, terecht. Nou, eens mag het in dit over, hè? Ja, ja.
This topic warrants no further argument. Sure, there may not seem to be any direct connection between Wendo and the message, for now, but why don't we wait and decide what's necessary after you hear my theory? Just you fed up on something, yeah? Yep, my theory is right. We finally solved the case of Wendo and the mysterious Owen forth. Well, go on then. Now, please share your theory with the court. Please let this case be over soon. There's something puzzling to me about Wendo's out-of-control emotions just now. Namely, that there were 3 distinct reactions present. I had never seen that before, and I wondered how it could even be possible. So, could a person flip between 3 distinct emotions of such intensity like a switch? In the end, I concluded it wasn't possible. Oh, that's it, is it? A bit unconventional, but I'll grant that it's possible within the realm of psychology. Your Honor, my theory is that Wendo is a robot. Isn't multiple personality disorder not actually a thing? Hold on.
Psychology, what is this modern thing?
I'm reading Wikipedia for a sec, hold on. I'm pretty sure that, like, the actual dissociative identity disorder...
Stop reading. The game will explain it for you perfectly.
Yeah, right. No, I'm pretty sure that the problem is, like, with pop culture, multiple personality disorder is that, in reality, people don't actually have, like, multiple separate people in their heads. It's more that they tend to, like, suddenly forget things beyond just... you know, having lapses, and that they like start to rapidly change between different kinds of feelings and stuff, how they react to things, but it's not actually, you know, having multiple people in your head or anything like that. Anyway, also it is incredibly rare, and there's no clear definition of what it is, or at least none that is agreed upon generally, so, you know. What? Would you not agree, witness? How did you know? I can't believe it. Habibit!
I'm sure the developers did throughout research on the subject.
Read papers on it before, but think I'd see a case on it myself. Blimey.
Things being not realistic is a rare thing for this series.
No, I don't know. Like, the trope of multiple personality disorder is so overplayed. I think we've even had this multiple times in these games now. I can't quite recall, but I seem to remember something like that. Hey, you lawyer girl, you get a problem with us, huh? No, no problem at all. It is all very hard to believe, but now that we've established that the witness has multiple personalities, could each of them please introduce themselves? Sure. Patches. So there are 3 personalities in total: Wendo, Patches, and Kizugawa, huh? Well, Simon, what do you think now? You unlucky duck. Just be glad they were dense enough to help you out. Would you just straight up say I did great for a change? You're to be quite proud of yourself, and all you have done is infringe upon the privacy of the witness. Couldn't disagree more. Now that we know there are 3 personalities, a new way for us to interpret the meaning of the certain piece of evidence has arisen. New interpretation. Now I'm very curious. What is this piece of evidence? The Owen fourth. Because Owen is unknown. Where's the thingy? There we go. Cards. That's right. All the original dying message left at the scene. We didn't have a clue as to what Owen fourth could have possibly meant. Now, with this new information about Wendo and his personalities, isn't it possible that Owen fourth actually means secret fourth personality of Wendo is a personality named Owen? But Wendo must have kept this dissociative identity disorder from us because he didn't want to be associated with any way with that dying message. It's not why. We kept the disorder secret for a different reason. I've been taking advantage of reflection to act out variation. There it is. That's why. Doesn't prove he didn't rearrange the cards. We'll concede that it is highly likely that the witness rearranged the cards. However, is it not also possible that the accused killed Master Tornado and then left that message in order to frame the witness? And upon noticing the cards when he found the victims' bodies, Wendo rearranged them.
Silence!
Fantastic tale, but a tale nonetheless. No one outside the Tornado School knew about Wendo's multiple personalities. Wendo just finished saying so himself. That's true, but ultimately meaningless. The witness was only in the dressing room for 2 or 3 minutes. It's far too little time to commit murder, wouldn't you say? And who's to say he couldn't have done it before his discovery? At Spring Check memory viewers, have you already forgotten prosecutor's Black Clothes testimony? Thank you for wasting my time, game. That's right, until just a few moments before Wendo entered the dressing room, Typhoid Tornado was confirmed to still be alive. Not only that, but Wendo was on stage until just before he discovered the body. A bulletproof alibi that I've already confirmed with several audience members. I also heard that his Rakugo performance that day was a steaming pile of... Well, you get the picture. Yes, I'm afraid so. Really stunk up the stage, I did. And yet, I have a perfect alibi. Indeed, why not land the coup de grace on the defense by describing your alibi? Okie dokie smoky. I was on stage until just moments before I went into the dressing room. The entire audience was my witness. But my performance was a huge bust, not a single soul laughed. I'll never be able to live down how terribly I bombed during that very important show. Wenda was on stage before he found the body, so he could not have committed the crime. It is time to let it all go, defense, and move on. Well, get this, motherfucker. Right, anything agency never gives up. Beh. You're taking advantage of this opportunity while you could, you foolish shit. Your worthless convictions only serve the wrong you're suffering.
Look at these babbies fight.
It's the big idea, dude. I don't give two shits about your beliefs, but if Sykes were to submit to you here, I won't be able to eat good soba anymore. That's right. For Mr. Wett's future and Prosecutor Blackwell's stomach, I'll never give up.
Can't wait for Apollo to be caught in those as well.
I was on stage in a little just moments before I went into the dressing room. How can we be sure it was you who was on that stage? Are you asking whether it could have been some imposter? I guess so. Unlike a big arena, a Rokugo Theater is a cozy little place. It would be hard to fool an audience in such an intimate setting, don't you think? I guess you're right. Good. Now we clear that up, because I guess you could say the entire audience was my witness. I don't need to press that. The performance was a huge bust, not a single person laughed. Do you have any idea what went wrong? I'm not sure if it was my performance or if it was just that particular audience. Well, maybe it was the story I picked, but every entertainer knows that this kind of thing happens from time to time. I guess that makes sense. Still, I wonder how he could have flopped at this home commemorative show. Maybe I should dig into things a bit more. I would ask about the number of audience members. Could you tell me which Rakugo story you performed? Good, but I'm not sure if it will mean anything to the uninitiated. Well, even if I might not get it, can't you at least try me? Alright, if you insist. The story I performed is called Tokisoba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Time Soba, huh? Maybe Linda's right. He's only said the name of the routine and I'm already lost. So you performed Time Soba, did you? What? You know of it? In the course of my studies last night, I became familiar with a number of stories. A state defense, you would do well to prepare better for your next trial. Simon, what's Time Soba about? Look it up yourself. Allow me to give an overview. The story takes place on a winter's night. A man orders a bowl of soba at a street stall. How you doing, sir? Gonna get for you. So you've got seaweed topped hanamaki soba and mixed something. I'll have a bowl of shipoku, my good man. It sure is cold out here, but there's nothing like cocoa with noodles on so you know it, sir. One shipoku coming right up. So how's business? Not so great, sir. Is that so? Well, that's great, because things can only get better from here, right? Wow, prosecutor. The customer talks on and on like this. Finally, when he is done eating, he goes to pay for his soba. So, how much do I owe you? That will be 16 months, sir. See, sorry, but I only have a small change on me. I'll count the coins in your palm, so could you hold out your hand for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, what time is it? It's 9, sir. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Thanks and bye. Very well done. Huh? I don't get it. What's so funny about that? Did you see? The customer paid with coins, counting them out one by one. And just after counting 8, he asked about the time. The silver vendor asked with 9. Now I get it. He made the vendor say 9 and then he continued counting from 10. Exactly. Cheated the silver vendor out of 1 mon with his smooth talking. So he continues with another man who saw the whole thing and tries to do the same. But he bungles the trick and ends up paying more than 16 mon for his silver. The story ends on that as the punchline. You can look up the rest of the details yourself. Or I'm sure he would love to perform for you after court. So basically it's a story about a man cheating on his silver bill. Kinda petty, isn't it? Is that really all you have to say about this classic story? Time sober is such a well-known staple of rock. Good at the skills as far as man. Fine, so you studied a lot. But we haven't had time for lecture detour right now.
This Japanese comedy is very exciting.
Want to hear a little more of, I suppose. It is off topic, getting back to the matter at hand. Miss Ice, what is the story I performed is called Toki Soba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Would you like to add the statement to testimony? Yes, of course, always.
This must have been very hard for the localizers to handle.
Except they didn't localize it, so they just didn't handle it. The story where a man cheats on his silver bill, right? When do you think you can go over well? No, I suppose I was a little nervous. It's a lot of pressure when you're the star of such an important show, you know? You nervous? Thought you'd be all calm and collected, but I guess even you can get stage fright, huh? I wanted so badly to live up to the great
That's
name of
what I
Wendo that I
mean.
inherited, that I guess I overperformed a little this time. Wait, Wendo was the stage name of a former member of the Tornado School, right? That's right. The name belonged to one of Shisho's former disciples who died of illness at a young age. The weight of a new name like that to carry on your shoulders, I can see why you were feeling the heat, just like me. Carrying the weight of my entire agency on my shoulders right now. In that case, can I count on your sympathy and have you go a little easy on me? Jordan says his witness, Wendo has a pretty unshakable alibi, doesn't he? You're not giving up, are you? Where's that never say die spirit you displayed earlier? Just know Wendo has something to do with this case. But now will we connect him to the crime when he has an alibi strong as that? I don't know just yet, but I'm going to press this testimony and keep that for connection. Well, obviously we're gonna need to... Okay, so there's gotta be something here. Fuck, I'll just look through everything. Nothing here. Nothing here. Oh. Master was supposed to do Time Soba, and he was supposed to do something else. Oh, whoops, I should present that.
Objection!
Wait, what? Was I on the wrong thing? Ah, fuck off, game. No, this is the one, I guess. There we go. Is there something odd about the routine you performed? Odd? I don't think there's anything odd. But that's exactly what I find odd, the fact that you don't think it's odd. Discussing the witness
Poor
alibi
Black
at the
Quill,
moment
he
defense.
has to deal with your mistakes.
The show's program is completely irrelevant. That's where you're wrong. Reason being, it contradicts the statement the witness just made. Wendo, do you know what this is? No. What is it? This is an invitation to the show sent from Master Tornado to Prosecutor Blackwell. Included in the invitation is a rundown of the show's program, which clearly states that Time Soba was to be performed by Master Tornado himself. Double Slammo. Wendo, why did you perform the routine your master was scheduled to do? Well, you see, the reason for that is... How do I say this? You see, let's say it was a prank. Gotcha! It was just a social experiment. A surprise, surprise, Shisho, I performed the routine he did. Didn't the victims routine really just for loss? Hey, didn't she... Simon happened to hear the Time Soba coming from the nursing room during Wendo's performance on stage. Seems like too much of a coincidence. Wait, can it be? What's the matter? You look like him with those necks to lay. Stop comparing me to birds. And seize this bird-brain timidity. Something has occurred to you and laid out for us.
What's up, guys? In this video, we are gonna kill my noodle teacher.
I have a ton of confidence theory, but here goes. It looks like Wendo's alibi checks out, Your Honor, but even though he was on stage at the time, he may have been trying to obfuscate a crucial detail about this case. Are you referring to the Soba bill the man tried to skimp out on? I'm not talking about the Rakugo story. Oh, I'm sorry, but then what are you talking about? Time. Wenda tried to deceive us about the time of the victim's death. What?
Objection.
What gibberish? Prosecutor Blackwell even testified to the time of the victim's death. I know, but he only testified that way because he and Geru have been completely taken in. You mean by the Soba bill thing? Would you please forget about this story for a second? Deceived? Pray tell, how did Wendo manage to deceive the people while he was performing on stage? That's easy. All he had to do was use a certain prop in the dressing room. What might that be? His TV was used to view what was happening on stage. Prosecutor Blackwell, when you came to the dressing room, what was Wendo doing? He was performing Time Soba. Bossed, could it be? Yes, it could, and it was. What you and Geru heard was not Master Tornado practicing his routine. It was Wendo's performance as heard through his TV monitor speakers. How fucking bad is your hearing, dude, that you cannot, discern someone else's voice through speakers? Well, whatever. From someone else just being right there. Whatever. We knew that Master Tornado was scheduled to perform Time Soba. We were easily manipulated to think he was still alive at the time rehearsing. Did the voice you hear belong to Master Tornado? With the doors in the way, I couldn't tell exactly who the voice belonged to. Because our Time Soba, I just assumed it was Master Tornado.
Clearly the television has low-quality speakers that make it sound like an old man's voice.
Can't believe I was taken in by such a simple mind game. Oh, but that is mere conjecture. Where's your proof? Wendell moved the TV back when he discovered the body. After all, he couldn't very well leave it by the door, because then someone might figure out the trick he'd been playing. And there's one more thing about Wendell's actions that's suspicious. The fact that he flopped so badly on such an important occasion. What's so suspicious about that? Even props and pros slip up once in a while, you know? I believe that this time it was intentional, because Wendell knew it'd be strange to hear laughter coming from the dressing room. Oh my. It's all just a bit too perfect.
Maybe he actually
to be sheer
sounds like an
coincidence.
old television when he talks.
Plus, if the voice prosecutor Blackwell and Gary heard was due to Endo's scheming, then the victim's time with death could have been earlier than 4 p.m. In other words, Wendell could have killed Master Tornado himself. Got your better balls now, Wendell, so you better confess everything. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? You want an explanation? Wendell! I confess. I tampered with the crime scene. This is still not over, please, game. I wanna eat my ice cream and then go to bed. Is it the defense's claim that Wendell Tornado is the true murderer in this case? If he tampered with the crime scene, then we have to at least consider him a suspect. Now wait just 1 minute. I admit to messing with the dressing room, but I didn't kill Shisho. Why did you tamper with the crime scene? I refuse to answer that question. What? If you suspect this witness, then I have a question for you. What could it be this time? Wendell had absolutely no reason to murder Taifu Tornado. After all, why would Wendell kill the man who recognized his skills and promoted him? Oh, well, his motive was, Appears you're also not aware of one other fact. And that is that the accused visited the dressing room before 4 p.m. as well. Is it not natural, then, to suppose that the accused killed the victim at that time? But nobody told me Mr. Wet had also gone there before 4 p.m. We're only discussing the time frame after 4 p.m. Don't take the race. Not you have made the time period before 4 p.m. relevant. Uh-oh. So you really don't know what your clan was doing at the time frame, do you? Well, it was all very sudden, and why did you wait until the very last second to contact me? Did you give me that look? And just so you know, Bucky never told me he had visited the master before 4 p.m. either. This sort of thing is exactly why that prosecutor keeps calling us unprepared. Offenders, stop squabbling this instant. Sorry. Prosecutor Shimadi, please continue. Thanks, bro. Defense, you know of the Silva making implements in the dressing room, right? Yes, we know. These tools all came from the accused Silva shop. You mean they didn't belong to Master Tornado? Mr. Wet had visited the dressing room to give the victim a soba making lesson, and that visit was before 4 p.m. I'm afraid that after the accused kneaded the dough and made those noodles, committed the act of murder. But wait, that doesn't add up. If Mr. Wet killed the victim before 4 p.m., why would he return to that room at a later time? Sick, dude. Wet Silver, you're killing caboodle when it comes to noodles. Oh my. I am Miss Chickadee. Hey, Simey. The reason I went back is because Master Tornado ordered uncooked noodles. Mr. Wet. Yes, sure, I brought noodle making tools to the restaurant at around 2 p.m. That's where Master Tornado ordered uncooked soba noodles to stock up on. Uncooked noodles to stock up on? Yes, ma'am. Master Tornado kept supplies soba noodles. Well, my shopping is fish. I only had one serving left, so I went back to my shop again tomorrow. Yup. One serving of noodles in the fridge, but I thought the fridge was practically empty. Anyway, the whereabouts of the missing noodles isn't all that important right now. You ran into me and Garo when he came back to deliver the uncooked soba, correct? That's right. Made time out of my busy day to deliver him the noodles. Now, you know what? You ignored me when I called him from the inner doorway. You just kept mumbling rugby lines for ages. So I got mad and went back to my soba shop. Ah, so that's why you got mad. What he's saying is true, and there's no way he could be the murderer. I swear I'm telling the truth, Miss Chicken. But if quick, get this man to the infirmary. I like that he left on his skateboard still. Well, I dare say he is quite the handful. Your Honor, please accept the statements Mr. Wet made just now into evidence. Objection. I believe the accused's statement about going to the room at around 2 p.m. is true. Or it falls within the victim's estimated time of death. I'd open up the possibility that the crime was committed between 2 and 4. That's some critical information. Yeah. But at one point, Mr. Wet's statements are dubious and without proof. They are the words of the defendant himself. Back me up here. He has a point. If I were the prosecutor, I wouldn't accept them either. Well, I understand the defense feeling on the matter. This court is unable to accept anything other than the time the defendant made his visit. Now what I do? Trust you have no further objections. At last, the time has come to sentence all the victim. Silence. What are you yammering on about, dude? That's something we need to question Wendo about. We do? Like what? Well, don't just stand there. But we don't have any evidence left to present. Have you forgotten already? There's still a hidden witness you have yet to question. Hidden witness? Your Honor, there's still one more issue we haven't finished discussing yet. Oh, and what is that bit of unfinished biznasty? We still have to discuss the possibility of a fourth personality. You're suggesting that this fourth personality of Wendo's might be the true culprit. Jeez, not that again. Told you we don't know anything about this Owen. Look, Wendo, I know you don't have any motive to kill your master, but this Owen may have one for all we know. Come clean now, Wendo. Got another personality stashed away, haven't you? That's enough. The witness has already stated that he knows none of any Owen character. Bravo, you tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Hee hee. Hey, Patches. You claim you don't know Owen when you really do. That's tantamount to perjury. If you want to exercise your right to remain silent, however, well, that's a different story. Do not listen to the depraved prosecutor witness, you'll be tainted with his evil. Do you have any idea how dark and cold a prison cell is? I exercise my right to remain silent. It's this now. Changing courses in midstream, are you? Shut up. I'll remain silent and that's it. Patches, you fool! Stay out of this. Patches is not the brightest bulb in that box. You call him Noggin, is he? The fact that he switched from I don't know any Owen to I will remain silent is proof that he does know about Owen. There it is again. Simon's formidable psychological manipulation tactic. I'm sure glad he's on my side today. You shithead. You're leading the witness.
Objection!
Your Honor, Yanda is definitely hiding something. Please allow me to question this witness about the existence of Owen. Suppose only this witness can confirm or deny the existence of Owen for us. Very well. Sure, go ahead, do your thing. Never met any personality named Owen. Matcher was just blurting out nonsense in a panic. We're always aware, so we definitely notice if a personality like that showed up.
This part of the case is longer than I thought it would.
How
Good
dare you
grief.
treat me like a criminal based on mere conjecture? Wow, I'm supposed to deal with the testimony of 3 personalities. Unless you can prove the existence of Owen here, it's all over. Best screw your courage to the sticking place. Attack the testimony head on. What? You best screw your courage to the sticking place and attack their testimony head. What the fuck kind of expression is that? Alright, I will do whatever that is. What if, for some reason, you 3 were unconscious at the time of the incident? If the 3 of you weren't alert and aware, what would happen? What would happen? I'm not even sure what you mean. I mean, you 3 share the same memories, right? But what if Owen is different? What if he has memories separate from yours? Maybe Owen emerges when the 3 of you are unaware of or unconscious.
Objection!
How does that make any sense at all? Instead of speaking as if this 4th personality is a foregone conclusion, suggest you prove its existence first. Well, we've already seen 3 personalities. 4th wouldn't be a stretch. He dishonored the victim in his court by blah 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 blah. Comparing us to cockroaches, do we bug you that much, girly? The intent to prove it. How will he prove that all 3 personalities became unconscious, as you say? Unless you can do that, all of this talk is merely empty speculation. Don't be so timid. If you're having to fight it, look, we thought you could run around and the others unconscious. Mate, Mr. Wet. Let me rest. Maybe for a long regular flour dough for our noodles. I'm fresh like the soba and all that silver rest. It's all about the 3 fish. Wait a minute, I got it. Miss Sykes, proof backup theory. Yes. Please point out the proof. Booze. Sake. Nice. Egu there. Buckos. Isn't it just like Master Tornado to pick a fine brand like a camel? What? Sake. Oh, please don't call it rice wine. That's so unsophisticated. It's not even wine. Fine. Rice beer then. I must agree, you need to become more cultured, Athena. Become a weeaboo like us. Made of tomato. It's made of rice and people get drunk from drinking it. Rice. Right? Call it sake and a story. Fine. Sake it is then. Ay caramba. Everybody's so touchy about these things. Fucking weebs. I recall Master Tornado would often have a drink or two before performing. And he said it made him more eloquent. Drinking too much of the stuff can make one lose consciousness, though, of course. Look, there were 2 glasses on the table, and I believe your master offered you some sake. Also, isn't this the first time in these games that they're actually admitting people are drinking fucking alcohol? Like, previously it was always like grape juice and shit. And then you must have drank too much and passed out. That's when your 4th personality Owen emerged. Drank sake? Ah, that's a good one. You have a real sweet tooth, you see. So yeah, we did accept the sugary red bean bun.
They drink non-alcoholic sake.
Sake, that's good. That's the best pronunciation. Thank you, TTS. But since we really dislike sake, we said no, thank you for that. Believe it or not, we're real weak when it comes to booze. Hee hee. Even a tiny drop can knock us right out. So you see, I had a sweet manju bun, but didn't drink any sake. What? But that can't be right.
Sake is more like vodka, but instead of potatoes you use rice.
Defense demands that the glasses be examined right away. The amateur, did you really think I had already done so? Foolishness is beyond the pale. Tell me. There was no trace of the witness having touched either of the glasses, naturally. Right, of course.
Fuck,
Besides,
I forgot the accent.
would you like to witness statement added to this testimony? Yes.
Objection!
Shows what most likely made Wendell lose consciousness. That note. You feeling lightheaded, kid? Perhaps a bit peckish? I'm not hungry, and my head feels just fine, thank you very much. Look at the paper this note is written on. Isn't there something familiar about it? What exactly is your point? Paint design here reminds me of the paper from the booze. Pieces of wrapping paper on the box of munch buns by walking on the floor. Wonder, you may not have drunk any sake, but you did eat a sweet red bun, right? Well, yeah, that's right. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but I believe the manju you ate caused you to fall unconscious. What? Because this buns contain a secret ingredient. A very punchy secret ingredient. Yes, kangaroos. Sign on wrapping paper matches shadow of something else in the room. It does. Can't believe I have to pinpoint a fucking camel because... oh my god. My game. Camel pattern, same as run sake. Though Justice Wendell said he didn't drink any sake per se, but he did eat some. Impossibile. Window had a Camel brand cigar, which boasts a nice shot of steak as one of its ingredients. In defense, claiming that Window passed out after
So
consuming a
now,
camel steak.
steak and buns.
It's allowed a fourth personality named known to merge, is that correct? Yes, that's exactly what I'm claiming. But there's one thing that bothers me. Wouldn't the alcoholic content of the buns evaporate as they're steamed? In order to give them stronger flavor, some manju are specifically made to retain as much of their alcoholic content as possible. I like what you think I am. Even I wouldn't pass up from eating a simple manju. Now, how about we test that theory? We say. Seeing is believing, as they say. Very well, allow it test. Thanks, pal. I'm gonna go buy some camel manju on the double. Don't forget to get when you want to, okay? Why must I? While you're at it, Prosecutor Blackwell, you will get one from me as well. Not the courthouse stable boy, you know. But just this once, I'll acquiesce. So, talk, I'm counting on you. And all of you had better pay me back. Aw, I thought it would be your treat, Prosecutor Blackwell.
Bird.
What a shame. Now then, let us adjourn until the manju arrive by Carrier Hawk. Court will reconvene as soon as Taka returns.
Can your birds get you sake buns?
No, and I'm glad they don't. My birds are just fine the way they are. Yay.
That's some resourceful bird.
Ah, Jesus, this case isn't even over yet. God.
Hey, to be continued.
Well, I'm gonna go eat ice cream and then maybe draw something if I can think of anything. Good night.